Hello and welcome. Hope you're all doing fantastic. I have a watermelon right here that I'm going to eat before I get into some artwork or art studies. But just got to make a quick little update on my channel before we do. And I've recently had a mild obsession with watermelons because watermelons are just so darn tasty, and they're just, what's amazing about them is they're so filled with water, and water is the essence of all life. So if I could share a message, if I could share a positive message today, it would be eat water-rich foods. And excuse me while I get set up here for a moment. Let's see what's going on right here. On save. And there we go. All right. So, if I could share any positive message today, it would be eat water-rich foods. Watermelon is super water-rich. Absolutely amazing. Delicious food. I was listening to this guy on Instagram. His name is Tack Method. That's TAKKMETHOD. And he's like a fitness influencer. And he did this really great post. He did this post about how eating watermelon instead of drinking coffee in the morning. So the other day, I decided to wake up and go get some watermelon instead of coffee, and I gotta say, I felt great. Not only was watermelon absolutely delicious, but it's water rich, and your body needs water. If you're feeling like dehydrated, like the simple answer is just get some water. And watermelon is a great fruit to get water, as you might imagine. It is quite a wonderful, wonderful fruit. And I loved watermelon as a kid. What's up, anime lo-fi music playlist? How are ya? I loved watermelon as a kid, but I never truly... but as an adult, for whatever reason, I just got so lazy with eating fruits and vegetables. For whatever reason, I just always felt like I need protein. Or I need caffeine. I have to have caffeine. And, fruits have sugar in it anyways. But gosh, is there anyone who does not like watermelon? It's probably one of the best fruits on the entire planet. I mean, watermelons have the most perfect colors. Red, green. It welcomes you with this beautiful green color on the outside, and once you dig in, it's just like this delicious, inviting red and pink interior that I don't know what it's made of, cellulose or... Alexa, what are watermelons made of?
Watermelons are typically grown from seeds in a process that involves soil preparation, planting the seeds, tending the crop, and harvesting the watermelons. The seeds of a watermelon are planted in a soil-based mix, and the seedlings are subsequently transplanted into the field. The watermelon plants grow and produce flowers, which in turn produce watermelons. The watermelons are then harvested and processed into various products, such as cantaloupes and muskmelons.
Huh. So a watermelon can be processed into a cantaloupe. I didn't know that. So Senki OK says, hello, I'm Caucasian male. Okay. Wonderful. We have a Caucasian male in the room. Watermelons are made of water, but what else? So obviously, watermelon contains water, but what's the melon part made of, right? You know, Ali, this is a our channel. We're talking about watermelon right now. I know there's a lot of important issues in the world that impact a lot of people, and you know that what you're asking of me is not really appropriate, right? Like, you know, I'm just casually eating watermelon, and you want me to take this very serious issue and just, you know, people are literally dying from what you're talking about, and you want me to just like casually, you know, shout that out. I really don't think that I can add value to that conversation with a stream like this. You know, it wouldn't really be helpful to anybody if I did that. So, you know, whatever you're going through, whatever challenges, whatever side you're on, you know, if this was a more serious stream, that would be, you know, a thing to discuss. But, you know, honestly, this, even if I said it, it wouldn't feel right. You know what I mean? Regardless of what side I would take, whether I'm neutral or not or whatever, this would not be a proper occasion for me to, you know, here I am joking about having a conversation about watermelon jokingly, and you want me to, you know, present something so serious and say something like that. Like, it doesn't really, it's not really appropriate. I think there's, you know, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, MD, what's going on, MD Ishmael? Cellulose and fructose. Yeah, so, you know, a lot of, I guess, cellulose and fructose. I've never really thought about, you know, hey, take care. Thanks for sharing about the watermelon. But yes, I'm an artist. I have some work that I'm going to start here in a few moments. But yeah, so enjoying some watermelon right now. I was looking at this Instagram influencer. He's a fitness influencer. I don't really know all his methods, but he's called the TAK method. That's TAKK-METHOD. And I thought it was really interesting because he had this video of him just holding a watermelon. He was saying something like, people are laughing at me because I have this watermelon. Who walks around with a watermelon, right? Very interesting. And he said how, you know, watermelon is this natural, wonderful fruit, and why do you need caffeine, right? Watermelon is a great substitute for coffee in the morning. And yeah, so the other day, instead of picking up a coffee, spending $4 on a coffee, I bought a quarter of a watermelon for $9. Watermelon's way more expensive than coffee in some cases. Now, I just picked up this whole watermelon. It was about this big. I bought a big watermelon for $5. Meanwhile, I went to this other store and they were trying to sell just a quarter watermelon for $9. So I feel ripped off. But I found a good place to get watermelon. Yeah, $9 for a quarter watermelon. So let me show you the watermelon that I got today. I'll be right back. So I just want to say, I didn't check if this is, you know, who made this, but check this out. So I just bought this watermelon. It's pretty big. It's about the size of my head. It's bigger than the size of my head. It was only $5. So Smart and Final. I don't know any of you shoppers or viewers in Los Angeles, but I don't know where Smart and Final extends itself. But Smart and Final has watermelon right now on sale for $5. After I went to Vaughn's the other day, I spent about $9 on a quarter of a watermelon, which probably, you know, it was about like either a quarter or half this size. And that watermelon was $9. That's way too much. If they sold the whole watermelon, it would probably be 36. To try to sell it for $36 is a ripoff. I couldn't, like, you know, now that I'm thinking of it. But I'm very glad I found Smart and Final that had some good deals on watermelons. Now, normally it's about $8 for this whole watermelon, but it was only $5 today, so I picked up 2. And now I get to enjoy some watermelon. But yeah, watermelon is expensive, but so delicious. It makes a great bowl. And MD Ishmael says, watermelon season, which was a few months ago, the sellers stocked up on them and used unethical means to grow them and preserve them, and also skyrocketed the price. The sellers stocked up on them and used unethical means to grow. What do you mean unethical means? Like pesticides or... Yeah, Cuddly, I highly recommend. How long, hypothetically speaking, you know, in your world, Cuddly and Cute, in your world, if you wanted to go get watermelon right now, how long would it take you to actually go get some? I know some people live like really far away from the nearest grocery store. I actually live in walking distance, and it probably takes me just as long to get in my car, get over there, and pick up watermelon as it would if I had just walked. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of pricing things that So MD, you sound pretty knowledgeable about this watermelon growth process. Now, I've definitely heard about, you know, GMOs and hormonal growth boosters for like cows and chickens, but I've never really heard about it for watermelons or fruits. Now, I know they do something to ultra-size some of these fruits, but you know, what do you know about hormonal boosters and growth boosters? Well, Cuddly, I don't know when the last time you had some watermelon is, but my gosh, it is so refreshing. It's like one step down from drinking a delicious, your favorite delicious carbonated soda at its most freshest point, you know? And the thing about drinking soda is that the carbonation is like a fake refreshing, but I can't deny the refreshment of a carbonated soda. Even if it's just a carbonation that kind of creates that illusion in your mouth, that illusional taste. So that's why I say the watermelon is like one step down. But something about the watermelon, it's like a step above water. There's something about the taste and the texture and the flavors of a watermelon that's like more refreshing than just drinking a cup of water. Way more refreshing than just drinking a cup of water. But not quite as refreshing as like a soda on the hottest day, yeah, it's great. But if you don't have the opportunity to go get one, I mean, you know, it's worth a trip. I made a special trip just now. I was about to start art and I was like, I'm craving watermelon. For whatever reason, I've just been craving watermelon these past few days. Maybe it's just the sugar or something else, but anyway, what are you up to in the meantime? You know, you can take a walk while you're on TikTok. Here, we can even, I don't know how comfortable you feel doing a live stream, but you can, I don't know, are you still, I don't know if you're still here. No, I don't think you're still here. But you can hold and enjoy this live stream while you're going to enjoy some watermelon. So let's see. Watermelons aren't available here around off season. So where would you say here is? You don't have to tell me the state, you know, maintain your own privacy, but what city would you say, or what state or like country or whatever? So I keep popping on your feet, so now you have to subscribe. My hand drawing was good the other day. Hands are so hard to draw. Here, let me show it to you again. I don't know if you're here right now or... I'll do a little show and tell while I'm waiting here, while I'm enjoying some watermelon. And thank you for tuning in and subscribing. Yeah, there's a reason why the algorithm is recommending me. So here's one of the hands, a couple of the hands I did. These are just one hue, so you really got to get up close to see the finer details. But let's see, I don't know which one you might have saw. I actually had a lot of fun. I wasn't sure how these would turn out. These two hands, like this one, I was really concerned about because I made it really dark, but it kind of gives this blown out effect of just super bright lighting, as if there was just like a giant flash of light or something on the hands. And honestly, this one, that's one thing about art for me, is there's always a point in my piece when I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna be good. My mind starts going, it's like, where did I mess up? How do I fix this? And then, you just keep pushing through it. You just keep, getting yourself moving ahead. And then eventually, I think things just turn out for good. I'm actually happy with how this piece ended up. And yeah, I have another hand one. Oh yeah, this is one I'm gonna be working on after I finish eating some of this watermelon. But yeah, it is a statue hand, so I'm gonna be working on this one here in a few moments. But I wanted to take a moment to enjoy some wonderful fruits of someone else's labor. Yeah, so obviously I purchased it with my own labor, but thankful to some of the farmers out here, I have the opportunity to. So this is grown in Mexico, so thank you to the farmers in Mexico. This is Big Chai from Nogales, Arizona. It says wash before eating. Oh, I didn't wash it. I didn't actually wash the outside, but I'm sure that's one of the wonderful things about watermelon, is you don't really need to wash it. I feel like this sticker, they just put it on everything. But yes, grown in Mexico, and I guess it was shipped in Nogales, Arizona, so very cool. Talk about that point in their process. Yeah. No mistakes in art, just new directions. Right, yeah. I have to constantly remind myself of that. It's one of those things that you just say it, that that's true, and you have to do it, but you can't help but prevent it from popping up. And I like that you say just new directions rather than there's no such thing as mistakes, just happy accidents, as Bob Rouse always says. But it sounds like you've come up with something new. Just new directions. So I'm going to quote you, Sarah, from now on. Just new directions. I like that. I'm going to quote both Bob Ross and Sarah McIntyre. But yeah, Cuddly, it's definitely the ugly phase, for lack of a better term. It is a phase where your artwork may or may not look ugly, and yeah, it could be stressful for some people. It's stressful for me sometimes. My goodness, this watermelon sugar water is so good. It's pretty delicious. Oh, Sarah, by the way, what you were saying about the statue hand, you got it exactly right. So what I'm doing right now is I'm basically going through this book called the Ultimate Bargue Drawing Collection. So this is originally a book that taught drawing in the 1800s. So back in like the 1850s, I think it was published. And this is actually a reprint. You know, this company reprinted the original book, which is called Cours de Dessin by Charles Bargue and another guy named John Jerome, I think his name is. And basically the original, I don't know if you're familiar with this, about art training. If you are, feel free to like interrupt or whatever. But back in the day, for commercial artists, they weren't as free as they are today. Artists were not given like, hey, you could just make anything and it could be art. That was not the philosophy of the day. It was basically, hey, you have to learn art a certain way and then, you know, graduate into painting for the royal families and the elites of society or whatever. And how they taught was by having people draw these statues, basically draw from casts. So draw from statues, draw from casts, and that was the way that people were supposed to learn how to do art back in the day, to instill these classical tastes, what they considered established as the tastes of the time, the flavors. But obviously, you know, a lot has changed since the 1800s, 1850s, and we're all much more advanced people now, where we can all appreciate all sorts of varieties of art. So that's a beautiful thing now that we have. And at the same time, I just decided myself to go through this book and this material just as a personal challenge, something that could, you know, just keep me flowing along and learn something different. So anyway, great material. I'm gonna have a couple more bites of this, and then we'll go on. It's my new mask. You didn't know that. So you do embroidery, sewing, crocheting, knitting. We love watching anyone do. Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. It is definitely an older style. So the reason why I picked this though is Vincent van Gogh. So Vincent van Gogh, Starry Night, we all know who that is. So his company, so when he was alive, him and his brother owned this company called Goupil AC, and it was an art dealer, and they actually published the original version of this book, or they were one of the major publishers of the book at the time. And Vincent van Gogh supposedly went through it 3 total times and drew like everything. And that's what he, you know, says was something that helped him learn to draw. And that was one of the inspirations that got me to be like, oh, I should check that book out. Hey, you want some watermelon?
Take a bite. I have to go back to that stupid dentist. After I left, I was done. I was at Petco, and the crown fell off. Okay. Take the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at you, Simba, moving your ball.
All right, people. So we're done with the watermelon, and just want to say that it is time to get started on some artwork. And if you're viewing from Twitch, I can't see your names. I can't see who's in the room on Twitch, unfortunately. So, you know, if you're watching, I just want to say, hey, feel free to drop a message or whatever. And there is a scrolling bar at the bottom. For those of you interested, a buddy of mine is in the process of launching an NFT called Worldwide Lucha League. And they're launching a series of fitness challenges and things like that. So if you're familiar with that type of stuff and you want to learn more, feel free to check that out, worldwideluchaleague.com. And let's go ahead and get started. Let's get started. All right, so I decided yesterday that I'm gonna go with like a pink and purple for this. So let me go with a pink and purple. I think I need to use a lighter purple here, or red and
Yeah, I'll tease you guys now.
yeah, and some red. So let me go ahead into here, and we're gonna start moving. Oh, this is new because I don't have this paper on top of it. It feels very scratchy on top of the wood. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do this in a different way. I'm going to use more strokes so that we can capture more texture from our oil pastels. Because that's one thing, is you can choose to use oil pastels in a way that you just create like a flat base of color, or with oil pastels, you create something very, very vibrant. You create a very, very vibrant style of oil pastel, and in order to do that, what you need to do is you need to apply the oil pastel in a more strokey way. And what I mean by that is, you know, lay down sections of color instead of just fully coloring it all at once. And, you know, I'll share a little bit about what I mean by that, and you can start to tell the difference. So all of you can see the difference. I will share some updates here in a moment. But for now, let me get this section in. And the reason why I don't share, don't have like a top-down view, is because it's very, very difficult to actually get the top-down view of artwork from different angles. So here we go. Just going with strokes instead of just a flat thing of color. And then what you can see, or what you'll notice, is that, you know, oil pastels really allow you to create like some really vibrant and interesting color interactions that can become very difficult with paint, because, you know, depending on how wet or dry your paint is, it could get very messy into sections. But here's an example. You can very easily tell the difference. You can very easily tell the difference between, you know, this flat color and then this, like, how I did it was I would go like this. You know, I would just do stroke, 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 as opposed to just coloring it in all at once. So you can really start to see a difference in how the piece comes together. And you can, as you can tell, like, instantly you could tell, like, oh, these are the possibilities of oil pastels. Oil pastels have a wide range of possibilities simply because you can allow them to blend together. And not blending in a sense of, you know, pushing one into the other, but just like pushing one into the other and mixing them, but like, you know, just layering them on top of each other, which is great. So you haven't touched any art supply in years, but it's relaxing and enjoyable to watch me talking and drawing. Thank you. It's like satin stitch embroidery. So what is... So satin stitch, I'm not too familiar with that, but I'm guessing that is your analogy to what I'm saying. So satin stitch, you can really work it and mix colors is what you're saying, or oh, okay. I didn't even know you could mix colors through stitching. I mean, obviously, right? You just change up the color of the yarn, right? Unless I'm missing something here. I am totally and completely ignorant and oblivious to the world of crochet and stitching and sewing and all that. Ember, oil pastels really fun to use. I'm having a great day. Thank you, Ember. How are you doing? I just finished my delicious watermelon for a snack, and now I'm gonna work on some pieces right here. So here we go as we dive in. I want to use this pink again. Shaz Bear, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you again, Shaz Bear. Satin stitches straight lines. So if you want to blend colors, you do it just like I did with pastels. Awesome, nice. So, I guess, I really appreciate you, Sarah, sharing with me how you came to find this channel, because, it feels good to hear, like, oh, you appeared this many times on my feed, and finally, I decided to come check it out. Like, I feel like that's very good feedback, and, as a content creator, it's good, like, to know that if you stay persistent enough in what you do, or consistent enough, I'm not like, either way, like apples and pears, but that eventually people will find you in some way. So cool. What's going on, Shaz Bear? How are you doing today? What's your challenge for the day, or what's your win to share for the day? You got any interesting stories? And Ember, what has filled your morning or your afternoon? Anything exciting? I usually ask a lot of my viewers to get into that. And Sarah, I would totally ask to. By the way, feel free to share your Instagram, or if you share your artwork online, feel free to do a plug if you like. I am totally a promotion-friendly streamer. If someone wants to promote whatever it is that they love talking about, or their business or whatever, I'm totally open to it. I know some people would not be, but I'm not some of those people. This is a totally, at least for now, at least for this stream. So if you have like an Etsy page or an eBay page that you would like to share, feel free to just type it in. No worries. We are totally open and supportive here. So here's just an ongoing fun example of how, using oil pastels, you can really start to create multicolored effects here. For sure, but you need to remake your Instagram. You stopped using it years ago and don't. Oh, okay, that's cool. No worries. Yeah, so yeah, if it's not your thing, if social media isn't your thing, so it seems like you're just one of your family's favorite gift givers, right? Do you make those pieces for yourself, or just constantly have some amazing handiworks that you give as gifts, or how do you sell them at in physical person? I have a friend that does crochets, and every holiday she's always giving out really cool like blankets and what are they? Beanies, mittens, sweaters. You always make things for gift. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. All right, so I'm moving into red. I want to move into a red. I want to use a dark red here. We're going to stay in the red zone as far as overall color goes. So red is going to be my main color source here. So let's do that, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be a little bit more gentle in laying down some of these colors this time. The only challenge with that is you start to like build these corners into your oil pastels. You have Cuddly and Cute has a friend like that. She's always giving people things she crochets. That's awesome. It's great to have a friend that can do crochets for you. They make for wonderful gifts. And you know, I think it's like one of those things that would be so popular on Etsy. Like I'm constantly saying to her, like, hey, you know, like, go on Etsy, sell some stuff on Etsy. That's an awesome place to you know, share your crochet work. So, been fun watching. Hey, Amber, well, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you. Take care. So, yeah, I think crochets are definitely great gifts. You know, I think crochets so great as a artistic hobby. Not for me, but like people that enjoy doing that stuff. Because, you know, you can constantly partake in the giving of gifts. Whereas I feel like paintings, it's like hit or miss. You know, like crochet, with crochet, you can give a crochet to somebody and, you know, there's like a direct use. But like if you give a painting to somebody, it's like, you know, there's always a chance they might not get it. There's a chance that they won't have anywhere to hang it up. They can't use it right away. So you really gotta like know an artist, somebody who likes the arts, in order for like to really share a painting as a gift with somebody, I think. Compared to crochet, like who doesn't like a good knitted thing? This is popular. People always complain about the price and expect you to give discounts. Yeah, crochet. I mean, it's a clothing item, a handmade clothing item. So, got that. It's not easy to make. Crochets take days, if not hours, and yeah. Your teen, you babysat for a painter and you begged her to pay you with the painting. Still have the painting. Hey, that's cool. So you crocheted for this painter and she gave you a painting as payment. That's awesome. That's a good trade though, you know, like an art for art trade sounds totally totally worthwhile, you know. And
So messy,
you know, that's great that you were able to preserve it. Because I think that's one of the biggest concerns for artists. You know, it's like, will this person that I give my artwork to, you know, even at whether as a gift or not, like, you know, I feel like at crochet, if you gave it to somebody and you saw them wear it like anywhere between 3 and 10 times, you'd be like, oh, I'm so glad they like it, right? You only need to see them wear it like 3 to 10 times. That's it. And you'll feel like content about it. And of course, if they wear it again 10 years down the road, you'll feel even better. But like the painting, I feel like it's much harder to gauge, you know, how much somebody really likes it. Unless, like, obviously if you see it on their wall for like years and years, in their living room, that's an obvious sign. But yeah. Anyway, those are some thoughts on on crocheting and and artwork. So here we go. So how long have you been crocheting for? One time. Oh no! You threw it in the garbage. That's horrible. Well, you know, they're your ex for a reason, and and you know, it sounded like that would definitely not be something that works out. So, you know what? Sometimes it's better to keep moving. Crocheting for 18 years. Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this. Your grand taught you to sew and knit when you were 9. Oh, you learned it from the nan, or grand. That's wonderful. So, I was about to say, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but this might be helpful. So, on Michaels, I don't know where you get your supplies from, but I get most of my art supplies from Michaels. And I noticed that I don't know if they told you, but they started this thing called Maker's Place. And Maker's Place is basically like their version of like an online marketplace to sell artwork, handmade crafts. And I feel like people that have been doing things like crochet have been doing really well on there, because I'm constantly getting news and I'm seeing like messages about this artist selling this. I'm talking like, you know, I don't think it's a really good platform if you're a painter, but you know, if you've got like an actual sculpture craft or you make like a crochet, I think you could do really well on there. I've been seeing some good things from that platform. And you know what? There's not too many people on there yet. I mean, there's a lot, but it's still a developing thing. It's called Maker's Place by Michaels. And I think it has lots of potential for the right creator, the right artist. There's a lot of potential. A lot of potential there. And right now, just giving some just adding in some finer details here into my hand. So I'm working on a new technique, something a little bit slower. I'm going for a slower pace on my artwork to capture more of the form and the figure. So I'm really slowing down my art pace, which is really usually much more hectic and chaotic, but I'm slowing it down. Yeah, you love that Michaels is doing it. And it's easy to sign up too. It's really quick to sign up. All right, so yes, let me see who else is streaming. Who wants to go? TikTokers, let me know if you want to go live here. How do I leave a poll? Do you want a portrait drawn? Let me see. Activities. No, I don't want an activity. Poll and gift, vote, draw, and guess. How do you do this? Quick poll. Oh, whoops. I don't even know if this is how this works here. So I'm not going to do anything. But here we go. So yeah, Michaels is doing this great thing. And yeah, I really like how Michaels is really looking to help support and give an opportunity for artists to offer their talents up to the world. It's great. And it's about time, because yeah, it's about time that Michaels would do something like that. So here we go. I feel like this also needs
Fresh water.
so right now building some color, building in some color detail around the wrist. And I will share some updates in a few moments, but for now, really want to get these details in here. And usually what I do is I just color in really roughly and just fill it with color, but I'm working on doing this just a bit more delicately. And I want to see what sort of effect I can create by being just slightly more delicate with my use of oil pastel. You know, constantly changing and adapting what I do. So that there's always an opportunity for improvement. I feel like these parts of the hand can definitely be pretty much all colored in. And here we go. Like the watermelon bed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's delicious, huh? Alright, so basically this is like step 3. Step 3 started with the rocks, step 1. Yeah, so I started just a sketch of all this at first, and then now I blocked in a lot of the shadows. And I'm using red, so you know this is a specific way of doing this. I wanted to use like a light red. I want to keep my values really bright and light. And then now we're just going to push into some darker shadows. So let's go ahead and what am I going to do? Let's see. I want to go with a super light pink here. I'll go with a pink into the light area. So I'm using, earlier I used the red. I'm going to use this pale, this is called a pale orange. Does this actually look like orange to anybody? It doesn't look like orange to me. It looks like a pale pink to me. So, hey, what's going on in my TTP Dara? What does that even mean? In my TTP Dara? In my TTPD era. I'm in my totally transparent police department era. In my TTPD era. I feel like I finally realized that as TTPD is one word and then era is a whole separate word. So here we go. I'll share some updates again here in a few moments as we continue to build out, structure this hand, and go into the lighter spaces here. And I don't want it to be totally white, even though what I'm looking at is pretty much totally white. I don't want this to be like a totally white hand. That's just, it's not I just feel like that would be too boring. One thing that's always stood out to me, I can't remember what artist said it, but he was like a very influential artist. And he was asked one question, like, if you give advice to one piece of advice to all artists, what would it be? Or like up and coming artists. And he said, don't make boring art. That was it. And I thought that advice was absolutely brilliant because, if you ever have to think of just one thing to make your art better, and that was the only thing, just how do I make it not boring? I think that's like the perfect advice. That really, I don't think any advice could be more perfect for art. Is don't make boring art. Don't make your art boring. Because not only does it open a conversation for yourself, you can have your own conversation, make your own decisions about, what actually needs to be improved. But, I think the truth of the matter is, like, whether you make realism art or figurative, or you make figurative realism, hyper-realism, or if you make, like, abstract, whatever it is, just don't make it boring. What a great, wonderful piece of wisdom. And, I don't think that artist is still with us. And I can't remember which artist said it, but it was like a career perspective. And it just always stood out to me of don't make boring art. And it's a question that I constantly ask myself. Like, what does this piece need to be less boring, aka more interesting, or whatever. Don't make boring art. And you know what? Sometimes I do fall in the trap of making boring art, at least in my opinion. It might look nice, but it's still boring. So, anyway, we now have our basic color combo of our hand here. So we're going for a super light, like pink red, and we're gonna fill in the rest of the red here in a moment. But I want to do this with a variety of colors, which I still haven't decided yet. I'm trying to think here. I think I want to go along the edges with like a darker. I'm gonna go along the edges with a darker shade here. So let's do that. Let's go around the edges and just slowly but surely start to carve out And honestly, I feel like I'm being too gentle with my oil pastels for this. But let's just see how it turns out before I start to, overly evaluate and critique myself. So it'll be a bit of an experiment because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm usually a bit rougher with my artwork. Just a little bit rougher. And so it'll be fun to see. Can I ask? So let's see. Like the advice, one way you make everything completely unique and a bit unconventional. You make your own patterns instead of using other patterns. Well, Sarah, I'm sold. I totally want to see your crochet work. That sounds very interesting. Doing something different. Okay, so TTP wants to hear some Taylor Swift. Oh my goodness. You know, the other day someone asked me to play this so I did get a copyright check yesterday when I was asked to play a Turkish song. But fortunately, it wasn't like a copyright violation. I didn't get in trouble for it. But it is annoying to have to deal with that. And I don't know if, you know, fortunately it wasn't like a serious violation, you know, I didn't get, but I wonder if Taylor Swift has like even more strict, you know, it's Taylor Swift, if she has even more strict rules when it comes to playing music live. And that's my concern. And, I don't know, if I get banned, will you help me get my account back, TTP? Will you reach out to YouTube and tell them that to protest YouTube on my behalf? You say you will. Yeah, I will get in trouble for playing a Swift song, yeah. So you made a freehand dragon head dice bag for your dad a few years. Dragon head dice bag. That sounds awesome. Figure out the email for your old Instagram. Yeah. Well, you know, you don't have to go to your old one. You can just start totally new. I'm sure you got enough photos on your phone of all the projects you've done recently that is enough to fill a whole new Instagram page. And this is an opportunity for you to totally start anew. So lover face, welcome. What does smash mean? What made you want to say smash? Oh, they're on your old phone. Okay, fun fact. Alright, well, since Taylor Swift said it in her interview, we'll play it. We'll play it and we'll see what happens. Alexa, play I Can Do It With a Broken Heart by Taylor Swift.
I Can Do It With a Broken Heart by Taylor Swift from Spotify.
Alexa, volume up. Alexa, volume up. I hope you're bobbing your head, TTP, because I'm playing this song just for you. Oh, she has a cuss word in one of her songs? Unbelievable. So here's a little update. Adding in the shadows, and eventually we will fill it all in. It will start to make more sense. But for now, let's enjoy some Taylor Swift.
Shit.
Alexa, thank you.
You're so welcome. Your kindness really gives me a charge.
All right.
What did she say?
She said your kindness really gives me a charge.
Oh my god. That's so weird.
Okay. It's weird to thank Alexa.
Yeah. For her to answer.
It's appropriate, no? You don't think it's appropriate? All right, well, that was Taylor Swift's new song. I don't
This
even...
is Taylor Swift from Spotify.
Alexa, off. I can do it with a broken heart. Alexa, off. Alexa, off. All right. Well, that was fun. I definitely believe Taylor Swift is one of America's greatest human assets for pop culture. I've been saying that for many years, but yeah, isn't she amazing, everybody? One of America's greatest cultural achievements is having Taylor Swift. It's an amazing thing. So here before I'm famous, Zeleno, welcome. Yes. Wow. You are already predicting. What makes you think I'm not already famous? Is it just so obvious? So cuddly and cute. Oh yeah, okay, so cuddly and cute. You're still here. How's it going? Yes, you agree that Taylor Swift is one of America's greatest cultural assets and icons. Assets, icons, pop assets. Like, she's up there with, like, Cher, Elvis, the Beatles. She is way up there with all of those wonderfully talented artists. But at the same time, what's like amazing is that she's not tragically like broken, you know? She's like, as far as we know, she seems to be just a super amazing, healthy, vibrant person that, you know, cares about her fans. Language. Like, you can't get better than Taylor Swift. I look like a natural star. Zeleno, thank you. Appreciate you. I see where you're going with this. And here we go. I'm going much slower than I usually do with this piece. I like to constantly, you know, change things up, try new things. And I see changing it up as just one way to be able to explore ideas.
Hi.
So here we go. Another update. That middle finger is way too long, but I can definitely, well, it's only out a little too far. I think I just have to tighten that up, round it out a little bit, and we can update it. What did Sarah say? She called it a new direction, or there's no such thing as mistakes, just a new direction. Yes, there's no such, as Sarah M says, there's no such things as mistakes, only new directions. I'm gonna use that quite a lot because I go in a lot of new directions. So let's see. Yeah, this isn't how I normally do it, so I'm really trying to figure out how I want to establish some of these characteristics here. And how do I want to color in the less dark shadow? Let me go with like a deep red here. Let's see, is this like a deep red? Yeah, that's a deep red. We can go like this. This will not work on top of this other color. So we're gonna go around, tighten this up, and here we go. So all right, King Megaforce. Wow, you gotta meet this other person that's been here called King Metal Lord or King Master Lord. You got a friend here. So you two should have a duel. You should take the octagon and see who is actually the true king. Who is a true king? Will King Megaforce take over? Or will King Master Lord become the Lord of the Masters? Oh, what mysteries you shall find. Welcome back, TTP. I feel like you missed our entire conversation about Taylor Swift, which I only had because of you. So anyway, it's all good. Let's go. Let's continue. I want to use this chance to really slow down my work here. Slow down the work and really give it variety, color and texture and design into this hand. Let's go ahead and push this yellow. I'm going to go ahead and push this yellow into this other space here. You're back of your videos. What do you mean? Of your videos. Battle for the throne, yeah. So Cuddly, what are some things you're working on? What do you like to spend the time in your precious life doing? Besides, I think you said that you did crochet as well. You know, I saw this really interesting graphic. It might make you think about your life. And it was just this big poster of the average lifespan, and it had all of the it's a huge poster of how many days people live. So obviously, or maybe it was weeks, or maybe it was even years, but either way, you know, just big poster, and like every day that you live, you basically cross off a day. And it like showed, I think this guy was like 40 years old, and basically it showed that he was basically halfway, and you could see the remaining days, like basically counting the days of his potential death. And I was like, wow, that's frightening for a lot of people who haven't really come to terms with the idea of death. But also, I think it also allows you to confront life as well, to confront this idea of, you know, what are we spending our time doing? And are we spending it doing something that we are truly, that we're truly passionate about? And I feel it's an important question to answer. But you know, when you, I guess not everyone wants to think about that, but if you can, I think you gain a level of awareness there's a certain type of awareness that comes with that knowledge. So again, I'm moving a little slower. You saw that chart? Yeah, it marks your weeks. Thank you for clarifying. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you know, you check your reality, you know that maybe you have like 520 weeks left. That's not a lot, you know? So Cuddly, why don't you, I don't know, I mean, obviously you don't have to share anything you don't feel comfortable sharing, but like what are some of the things that you feel like you haven't had the time to do that you'd really like to spend more time doing? And, you know, if you don't share, that's okay too. You know, just let me know if it's too personal or whatever. I get it. I get philosophical sometimes in my live streams. And it could be a little bit too much for some people who, you know, don't want to get into these overly sentimental discussions.
Hello.
But some people like it. Oh, and here's an even scarier thing, Sarah, that I saw. So there was another guy who was on my LinkedIn, and you know, let's just say that the average person lives 80 years. I'm just throwing out the number 80. And you know, he said that he was about 40 years old, and his parents were about 60, 70 years old or something. And you know, he was like, if I visit my parents just once a year, I'm probably only going to see them 20 more times. Isn't that scary? I mean, you know, I know some people's parents may no longer be with them, but if they are, isn't that shocking, you know? And then, you know, when you think about that, it's like, or if you have kids or whatever, you know, you only see them once a year. It's like, wow, that is a shocker too. So not only your own mortality, but everything. You know, we're taking quite a turn with this conversation. Yeah, hey, I see you, TTP. You're not, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't see what got deleted. I don't even know, like, I can't do anything really. So I did not delete anything. I didn't delete anything that you wrote. It was not my doing. It's definitely something you should think about. Yeah, for sure. Something you should used to do a lot with yarn. So you feel like you want to do more with the yarn. That's great. And if you had to nail it down, cuddly and cute, what would you think stops you from having the time to spend more time with yarn? You know, doing art has really given me an opportunity to consider a lot of these questions that I'm asking you. And I think, you know, where it really comes from is like, you know, if you're really passionate about something, how much time do you really have to do all of it, you know? Like, I often wonder, like in Picasso's life, right? I think he lived a pretty long life. He's one of the longer living artists. So that's fortunate. And, you know, I was thinking about his career and, you know, how he came up with Cubism. And I wonder, it was like, you know, there's probably at some point where he was thinking to himself, how many possible of these portraits can I come up with? How many different designs can I come up with? And I feel like any artist who comes up with a unique style like that, Piet Mondrian, Rothko, Picasso, if that's like a pervasive idea in their mind of, you know, how many ways can I do this one style that I'm being known for during my lifetime, and how can I keep making more? But that's an idea. And I'm looking at this this piece right now that I'm doing, and honestly, I'm not too happy with the colors. They kind of look a little funky. I don't think the color combination is just right. I feel like I switched it up a little bit too much. I think it lacks cohesion. But maybe that makes for a not boring painting or drawing. And I will share a quick update here in a moment. But I want to make sure that I can Yeah, I don't know how I feel about these colors, like switching these colors up. I do feel okay with the design, but I feel like the colors are a little bit too much. But you know what? We'll keep going with this, and we'll see where the world takes us. Maybe this direction is a good direction. There's something a lot of artists sadly struggle with is finding time. One thing they should consider is they don't need to sit down with their art for hours. Even 5 minutes a day can be enough. Yeah, for sure. 5 minutes a day can definitely be enough. And you know what? If you are able to sit down and find those 5 minutes, you'll probably end up finding more than 5 minutes, right? That's the best thing about creating a 5-minute schedule is 5 minutes usually ends up being more than 5 minutes. Okay. All right, YouTube and TikTok. My girlfriend's about to leave the apartment. She just wanted everybody to know. No, the world must know that Kathleen is leaving the building.
No, the world must not. You must. Bye. Your thing. Just want me to say
Fly
bye-bye.
away. Just want to fly away, huh?
I have to go. Layla needs to eat. Get over the tree. All right, bye.
All right. Let me take care.
Hey, take the cats. Cats are fed.
Okay.
Litter's
See you later.
clean.
Sounds
Here,
good.
Let me show you where they're
Huh?
They're the medicine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Each one of these
Yeah,
is
okay.
half a pill,
Okay.
approximately. It goes in the pill pocket.
Okay.
Just give it to her like a treat.
Can you do me one favor before you leave? Is put tinfoil over the watermelon. Because you gotta cover it, otherwise it's gonna go weird.
Your
My hand is. I have
broken?
stuff on my other hand. Thank you. All right, see
There's
you.
room in the fridge for even one.
That's fine. I just need to put that tinfoil over.
Okay, well, you know where I'll be.
Yes.
Send us cat water.
Okay. Sounds good.
I took out the cat garbage, but I'm not taking out the spoon.
Okay, I'll take it out.
Okay.
All right.
Probably see you tomorrow because I have an audition. I'm trying to schedule it at Intrepid if I can. All right.
Okay.
If not, I'll need your help.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay. See ya.
Have a good night.
All right.
Where are my sunglasses? There's sunglasses. Here.
All right. So here we go. All right. All right. And let's see. Where were we? Here we go.
Hi.
Going into this space. We were having a deep conversation just a few moments ago. If anyone wants to fill us back in, otherwise we'll probably change it to something else. Deep conversations, right? But anyway, yeah, I totally forgot where we were. But here we go. I'm playing with this hand, and I think we'll get back to figuring it out. But you know, this hand is again, I don't know about the colors. I think I I like my other way of doing things better, but we'll see how it ends up turning out once I reach the finishing phases. I feel like I usually find that I do like them after it's done. Like, sometimes it's like hard to know. Am I still in the ugly phase, or is it just going to turn out ugly? Oh, the questions. Questions here. So let's do this. Let's get some of these fingers nice and tight. And what were we doing there? So get these pieces and here we go. Now let's go ahead and go around this. Yeah, the red, orange, or pink was nice before the green was added to the hand. Yeah, I totally agree. I should have not... This green should never have been added to the hand. It kind of creates like a distracting effect. But, you know what? Let's keep going. And let's see what happens. So, I'm going to go... What should I do? What should I do here? I'm gonna go. Let's go blue. Blue around the outside here. So we're gonna go blue. New directions, yes, new directions. How can we? That's a good way to see it. Cause you know what's funny is like, it's funny is like instead of Bob Ross's quote, which is "There's no such things as mistakes, only happy accidents," your new directions quote, I mean, literally gives you a way forward. You know, it's like, oh, maybe I'll go in a new direction with this. And then your question becomes, what's the new direction? Rather than just thinking of a happy accident. Because when you have a happy accident, it's like, oh, okay, well, now I don't know. What do I, you know, you don't know what to do. And I guess, of course, it depends on the situation, too. Like, you know, if you can't go a new direction for whatever reason, like, you know, you're an artist who's been hired to do a certain type of job, you know, then you kind of got to just accept that you made a happy accident. But maybe you'll also be able to convince people to go a new direction. Maybe that's a possibility. So the green would be good to add somewhere else. Yeah, that's right. So let me see. Maybe I can take this in a new direction. Maybe I can take that section into a new direction. First, let me get this. Let me surround it with some blue here. I'm going to surround it with a nice blue. I'm going to shape our piece here. Shape it. Whew. All right. Let's see where we're going with this. So, keeping it fairly simple. The blue definitely helps it to finally pop a little bit. But some more work still needs to be done on these fingers. So let me think. You know what? I can do green nails. I think green nails would be okay, but I just am concerned about this. I'm still concerned about this green hand. But maybe it just needs a new direction. So let's play with that. The blue works nice with the stones. Thank you. What can I do? I feel like I could just scrape away, but I don't want to. I don't want to just scrape away. So let's see if we can. Let's see, red. Well, green is the opposite of red, which means if I mix red in, it's just going to create a more of a like a gray. But I might be able to layer. So let me just try to layer. See, it makes it too light or too dark. The layer is too dark of a red. Maybe I have no choice. How about if I do orange? Let's see how this orange does. All right, that's working a little bit. I'm using up a lot of the orange, but you know what? I'm gonna play with two varieties of red here. Let's go. I'm working on filling in all the shadow, or all the areas that need more red. And here we go. So let's just get a darker color into the area around the hands. So we're going to go darker into this space here. And go up towards the finger a bit more. And how about this? Gotta get my fingers into this, huh? Here we go. Get my fingers into this and start carving out the shape here. There we go. Update here in a moment. Just want to really get into these crevices of this hand with my finger and help to create some more form around it. I don't know. I just made it darker, but I think it looks better than the green. It kind of looks a little burnt right now. Like the shadow, it's like dark, so it's darker in the wrong places because the light doesn't totally match all the areas. So Smexy Saturdays, how you doing? So Smexy Saturdays, actually I do have NFTs, but more importantly, I'm sharing this stream on the bottom because my buddy is launching an NFT. It's called the Worldwide Lucha League. You can find more information on there. And if you happen to be an influencer in health and wellness or fitness, my buddy would like you to contact him directly because he's got some things that you can offer to your viewers. Again, I don't know if you're if you do like fitness and all that, but just an announcement for anybody who's curious about that, or if you happen to know somebody who's in this fitness space and would like to, you know, have some content, have some giveaways to their viewers, check out Worldwide Lucha League, and I can get you in direct contact with the founders of it, so you can have an actual conversation. But yeah, Cuddly, thank you. Yeah, it looks better, huh? So that was a little bit of a save there. Looks better, just getting my hands into it, and you know, it's better. So right now I just got to really work on tightening up whatever needs to be tightened up. So that's the goal now that we have that established. And let's see, so I have to create some separation in the hands. You can see the lighting just looks weird, and this bottom finger kind of got a little messed up. But let me see what I can do to fix that. I'm gonna push this finger up. And we gotta go around with some of the green here and get tight into the right along the hand. And I want to get green on this nail. Let's bring this finger up. So we're going to bring this finger up with some of our red. And bring the green up with some of the green. And how can we continue to tighten this up? Needs to be better separation. Needs to be a better separation between the stone and the finger. So I have to be comfortable just adding a little bit of an outline. There we go. Okay, and I can already see another issue. So I want to take this stone here, and I want to really bring it into the finger. So I will share some updates here in a moment. But I'm filling in the spaces around the fingers. And then we're going to use a lighter purple for this other area. pull in some of the green into this nail. I guess this finger would be in shadow, and we gotta use the blue. We gotta push and carve. One thing about old pastels is you can really push and carve things. So if something's not the right shape, you can kind of like carve it out and make it the right shape. All right, well, here's where your baby woke up. You got to go. Please show the finished hand on my next live. Will do. Take care, Sarah. Thanks so much. Aaron Fitzgerald. Hey, Aaron, welcome. Thanks for jumping in and doing a quick share and like. So here's a little update right now. The hand that I originally colored with some green has transformed a bit. And yeah, his hand is a little bit more surreal. The fingers are super long and all that. Very big wrist. But you know what? I'm gonna call this piece. I'm gonna call it right now. I think I can push it just a little bit further. There's always something that you can do just a little bit further. Not always, but most of the time, I feel that if I just go a little bit further, I can really update it. So, Aaron, how's it going? How are you doing? What brings you to this wonderful place on the internet today? What message would you like to share with the entire planet? Because that's who we can potentially reach. Is the entire planet with TikTok. How great is that, right? That's pretty wild to think that. I mean, I may only be reaching a few people, but I think the potential is that we're reaching an entire planet. You gotta see beyond the trees in the forest. You gotta see the potential. And how do I darken this hand a bit? I don't want to darken it too much. I just want to give it a little bit of shadow. But these are about the same value. So let's go ahead and add that shadow. Add this shadow. Add that. Add that. And here we go. So it's easy to lose a lot of shadows if you're not paying attention. That's what I'm working on building back in again. And working on softening or softening some of the features. So some of these features are a bit too rigid for what should be a hand, right? A hand, you could tell that it's like nice and soft because of the curves and the roundness of a hand. But if you make it a hand with too many hard lines, then you can really start to lose the feature and characteristics of a real physical body. And that's an easy trap to fall into. So here's what we're doing. I am going into this to make sure that I do capture some better shapes between the hands. Let's see, the better forms or whatever. So here we go. And let's come across like so. Alright, so there's something missing in this knuckle here. I'm gonna come down, that's gonna come across, so we need to go up and around. And here we go. So a little update. I think we're gonna be done after this. What's up, CE Bond 2? How you doing? Played it quite a bit with this hand, but I call this one a finish. And you know, if I got a review, you know, I really like to review some of my things here. When I review it, I feel like the wrist is a little bit too large. And what would I say about the pinky? Fingers are a little bit long. That's okay. I like these hands. So here we go. Looks like a real hand just holding up a block from underneath. Yeah, okay. Good to hear you're doing good. So what brings you in today? How has your life changed since yesterday? Have you met anyone interesting today? Did you get a promotion at work? Now, our lives change every single day because our bodies are never done transforming. Yeah, well, thanks, Cuddly and Cute. Really appreciate you. This is definitely required a lot of fixing at first, but I think we've got something here. Looks like a real authentic hand, right? You get the idea, and you know, it's a combination of very interesting colors that creates a lot of interesting design. You know, the only thing, and I can't fix it at this point, so as someone said, Sarah had said, there's no such things as a mistake, only new directions. Pretty much I had to go to new directions. So I had originally painted this green, and I didn't like the green, so basically it's the wrong value. By wrong value, I mean it's the wrong level of lightness to darkness. This was originally supposed to be very light, but that's okay, it looks different. So it just makes the lighting look a little different, a little awkward, but we're all good here. So we're going to move on to our next hand. Actually, this hand also fits on this paper. So let's go ahead and just continue with this hand. And it's going to be basically the same hand, except I'm going to draw it bigger. And draw it again. So you went to choir concert and it felt really nice. Everyone sang so good. Hey, amazing. So how was the choir concert? Do share. What was the highlight? Who was the leading star? Did you have a friend perform in it? And thanks, Cuddly and Cute. So, Cuddly and Cute. It's a fun little dog. I assume that that's your dog. Alright, let's get on with this next hand. It's going to be pretty much the same one. And we're going to go with a yellow this time. Yellow around the outside. She red, orange, yellow, green, red, orange, yellow, blue. High part is really good. They sing very loud and have a lot of energy. And you like the middle and low part too. All right. Energy. Yes. That is one of the best parts about music, is just all the great energy. So let's see. I'm going to do this hand. And then let's go up with it. So 1, 2.5. So 1. Yeah, choir is great. I used to 15 human years. You have a 15-year-old human, a 15-year-old dog. That's pretty amazing. That must be one one dog with a lot of wisdom. That dog must have a lot of life experience. Did you ever decide to get it like a puppy and pass on the wisdom of of an old dog, or is that too much for the boy or girl? Is that too much for the being? All right, so there we go. We got our pinky, which I think that needs to be a little bit of a deeper curve right there. And then we're going to go a little bit further up. Plays with neighborhood cats. Neighborhood cats. A dog that plays with neighborhood cats. That's 15 years old. My goodness. What did you feed that animal? Didn't even know such a thing. There's gotta be a YouTube channel with that kind of content, because that would be awesome. Very wholesome channel. Very wholesome. So great to hear, Siobhan. So did you feel inspired? Did you feel inspired about what the concert? Did it make you want to sing? Did it make you feel like you should? Did you make you feel like you can take on the world, or you can go create art or masterpiece or something? She used to be scared of cats. She only recently started warming up to them this past year. Wow, well that's nice. I think that's wisdom right there. The dog was like, all right, I'm done trying to fight these cats. I'm done being scared of them. Might as well join them. He wasn't no scaredy cat, he was a scaredy dog, but that was scared of cats. What a wonderful animal. So what would you say are the secrets of helping a dog live until 15 human years? Because that's quite a long time for a dog. And, I think that there's something that's being done right in that situation. And here we go. So this is the second hand that we're working on. And as I work on this hand, we are working through some of the challenges that we had earlier. So I'm trying to see now. I'm just looking to match up lines and such. So I think this no idea. You don't do anything special. Huh. Well, maybe your dog just likes to be alive. I know that sounds silly, but, you know, I'm sure there are dogs who, like, you know, don't really feel much for their owners, and they're just like, you know what, they feel like it's their time to go, so they just kind of like, hey, it's time to go. But maybe your dog's just like, yeah, I like being here, you know? Every day's pretty chill, the food's pretty good. There's good TV on all the time. I'm not, you know, I'm just chilling, a chilling dog. Like, I want to watch the next episode of Wheel of Fortune. I'm ready to, you know, I don't want to miss out on Jeopardy. I don't know what you watch on TV, but just being silly there. What does your dog watch? I'm sure he watches TV, right? What kind of animal does not watch TV? How can an animal not watch television? That's absurd. She hates the television? No way. What did the television ever do to her? It takes attention away from her, is that what? I know a lot of dogs don't like it when something takes attention away from them. Yeah, probably. There must have been done something horrible if she refuses to even look its way. Yeah, those darn TVs. Those darn TVs. Always randomly turning on when you least want it to, when you're just trying to take a nap and suddenly a bunch of people are yelling on a television set. Alright, so here we got sketch number 2, which I'll share in a moment. I was about to share it just now, but I just noticed something that needs a little work. We need some details in here that can help to define what's going on. If we don't put it in, it's going to be confusing when we start the drawing. So here we go. Here we go. All right. I actually think this sketch is a little better than our last one, but we'll find out soon enough. So, what we did right here, so this is the first hand. We painted it, we drew it this way, and the second time I did this hand in yellow. Second time this hand is in yellow, so it might be a little harder to see, but we're gonna go through it. We're gonna go through it and tighten it up. But I definitely think the form is a little better as far as the shape of all the fingers and everything. And let me see if I've got it right though. There's like so much to, just something that feels like I have to tighten up, but that's okay. Let's see, this has to go down there, and then it curves down and out, which means this piece just needs to come up a bit more. Let's see, how do I fix this? Piece has to go like so. Oh, whoops. This piece is gonna go like so. And like that. And like that. There we go. All right, I think this is going to turn out better than the last one. We also learned some mistakes from our last one in that don't use green. I could probably use green for the hand, but I have to use it for the whole hand. Green looks, it just is not a color that I do well with. So, with that said, let's keep going. We're going to go, what color combinations should I use for the rock? Let's go with the classic black and gray, and we're gonna go black, gray. We're gonna go black and gray for the rock, or the stone, or whatever you want to call it. We're gonna go black and gray. And then we're gonna go black and gray. And then we're going to go I haven't decided on the color for the hands yet. Black, gray, and then there's some white there, but maybe instead of white, last one was purple, let's just go with yellow. Black and yellow. I think that's a good color combo, no? That's a good color combo. Let's go with black and yellow. Let's play with that color combination there. Let's see where it takes us. We're going to make our eyes just blinded by this yellow here. Let's go into this other rock and paint it a little bit yellow. Not totally committing to the edges yet. Maybe I should totally just commit to the edges, huh? Let's do that. Let's commit to the edges. Committed to the edges. All right. And now it's time to plan the hand. And what we want to do for this time, I want to start with a mid-tone. That way we can build around, go darker around the sides. But I think I'm done using yellow for like body parts. It's just, yellow's such a difficult color. I mean, green is such a difficult color to work with. My last hand was red and blue. So thinking, you know what, I'm gonna go with a purple hand. Light, nice middle of the road purple. There we go. Nice middle of the road purple. One is light purple, so I definitely want a regular purple. Go for middle of the road purple. Let's do this. All right. Next page. Just as we start to sing very loud, have a lot of energy, like the middle part too. Let's do this. All right. Middle of the road purple. Gotta carve this out. Where did this go? So this disappears right there. Goes right there. This is where I'm gonna start the and this is hand 2. Let's go like this. So, pushing these details, committing to some of the edges, most of the edges here. I'm committing to it with the purple. I often consider art like a series of just decisions. That's like that can be the most tiring part about making artwork. And that's why it's good to have like a system, like the exact same way of doing things almost every time. You know, there's a lot of great artists that just, basically their art is the repeat of a similar process over and over and over again. And they've done that process so many times that they've just mastered it. They've mastered the art of their art. And it can come in very handy when you have a specific way of doing things that just can be repeated over and over and over again. Fern, what are you doing? I have a cat sitting staring out the back window. Or the back door. She's acting very, very suspicious. As if she's about to go take an adventure. Fern, you about to leave us here? Huh? Make sure she's okay. I hope the door's not opened just enough for her to sneak out. Oh. What are you doing, man? Why are you acting weird? Okay. And let's commit some of these lines that are around inside the hand. We're just committing lines, committing sections to be to be defined. Uh-oh. Yikes. Alright, so I messed up a little bit. Here we go. I drew into this area that I shouldn't have, but let's go. Let's keep pushing this a little further. Oh, I have lost the design. So let's see how we can fix this. I can show you where I made my mistake here in a moment, which I'm glad to share some of my mistakes. So here's where we got so far, everybody. So working on this, and we're pushing in the hand. And I'm not gonna play with this style anymore, where I kind of like did a lot of quick strokes of oil pastels. I'm sticking with this one, where I pretty much take the large piece and just cover the large areas with the right colors that I want. And, you know, I at least know how I like to do things and how I can't effectively do things. But it was still nice to explore the last idea, even though it didn't necessarily pan out exactly the way I had wanted it to, which it's fine. It's all good. So here we go. I'm gonna commit again an area of darkness. So this space that needs to be black, I'm gonna commit it to black. Oh, these are very Lakers colors. I don't know if anyone's a Lakers fan, but all right. So we've made some major commitments of where the different pieces are going to be. So what I gotta do now is continue on and just fill in the space. I feel like almost everywhere is gonna have this color. So this actually comes up to the top of this hand. So this hand right here, a little bit, and it continues to go all the way down to right about there. So we're gonna go commit this space. And we're going to go around this edge on the bottom here and create some nice soft contours along the hand. Let's do soft contouring just to create like a nice soft shape along the hand here. And there we go. I want to make sure that I fill in the space. Unlike previously, I would just kind of like do these like scratchy marks or staccato. Let's call it staccato. Staccato sounds nicer than scratchy. So I would make these like staccato marks, and the staccato marks helped me to create multiple combinations of color into a single piece. But now now finish my sentences. Now I don't even remember what I was saying, so if anybody was following along, let me know. But got distracted trying to do this hand. Oh yeah, so before I was creating these staccato marks, and the marks were like, you know, you had the ability to create like a texture on your art piece. But now I'm filling in the space, so I don't have the same opportunity to create multiple colors in one space, but I do think the overall effect will be a bit nicer. And here we go. Let's make sure that this color really fills across the space here, and across the top of this hand. Soften our area. And we're gonna get the knuckle nice and shaped. And we're gonna keep pushing this. And let's see, so get this purple into the space here. Push this angle a bit down. We will have a update here in just a few moments. So Liz IQFN, Lizik, is that how would you say that? Lizik FN. I like that name. It's very very catchy. So what's going on? I am working on a piece right now, sharing some updates as we go, but I just got to finish this specific portion of it where I'm trying to just establish some of the forms and the shapes here. And when I do that, yeah, so working on that. And what brings you? Lizik FN. Cool name. I like that. Very, sounds like a musician's name. I don't know if you're a musician, but if you're not, you got to use that name for like a streamer name. What crayons do I use? So these are oil pastel crayons. I got a couple brands here. These are Cray-Pas. So you got Cray-Pas brand, So this is Cray-Pas Expressionist brand. We got this brand that's Chinese, Paul Rubens. I really like these color options from Paul Rubens. It smells good. I don't know what they do. They these have a smell and they smell nice. I feel like they spray them with perfume or something. And I don't use these as much in my work. These are Sennelier oil pastel crayons. You know, they're basically in a crayon form. They're not wax, but they're not in a crayon form either. Or, I mean, they're not wax, but they are definitely in a crayon form. A lot, huh? You think so? Are you a collector of art materials? What brings you... Yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate that. The stream has good vibes, or I have good vibes? I think I have good vibes. It's all me, baby. Just kidding. It's a bit of everything, right? So one thing I'm concerned about as I'm making this piece is I'm afraid of losing certain shapes. So I'm doing my best to capture and continue without losing too much. Yes, me. Awesome. Yeah, so what brings you here? Are you an artist? Are you looking for a lonely live streamer to share your life's experience with? Are you or are you looking for a lively streamer to just match your vibe? So don't give myself too much credit, yeah. Well, I guess a little credit isn't too much credit. So here we go. All right, let's see. How do I want to do this? There's a couple more things I really have to tighten up here to finalize this form. And you know, this can be the scary part, because you know, you're starting to really establish the way things look, starting to set things into stone, where if you mess up, you know, you can have some issues. Uh-oh. I can already see something looks wrong. In that, I already see something looks a little off. That's okay. It's not off enough that, you know, there's nothing I could do about it. It's just a little off. And I can blend in this black here. So you're looking along shorts. You saw my life. You saw my life. Wow. What do you think about my life, Lizik? I have no views. You hate that about YT. A lot of people that put almost no effort become famous. Wow, okay. Well, I appreciate that. See, so you're doing your part in helping support talented people. And that's really all we can do, right? Support the things that we believe in. Obviously, it seems like you believe in you know, working with talented people, as opposed to, you know, I'm probably also a person who spends a lot of time giving attention to people who don't put that much effort. You know, like, you can't help but get stuck watching a reaction video. But it does take skill to make a good reaction video. I gotta say, there are some people who have like these facial expressions that are just amazing. I don't know their names off the top of my head, but you can find a good person who has good reactions. That's great. So let's share some progress here. I'm going to share a little bit of progress. And here we go. So a little bit of progress. You can really start to see some of the shadows and the forms starting to come through a little better on this one than even on that one. But yeah, you can really start to see some of the shapes and forms come through, which is nice. Feels a little more cohesive than the last one. But you know what? I think the last one was more expressive, more experimental, whereas this one, you know, this is more process oriented. I think it's going to look better because there's better planning or thinking. But you know what? It's also going to have it's going to have less expressiveness, I guess. Or how do you do both? But yeah, so good reaction videos requires meaningful input. You know, I totally agree. Yeah. I guess, you know, now that I think of it, now that you're saying that, the best reaction videos that I like watching are the ones that have input afterwards. But at the same time, I do find myself getting sucked into even a crappy reaction video. Because, you know, sometimes you're like waiting for something to happen, or the actual video that's being reacted to is just really good, but the person who's reacting to it kind of sucks. And you know what? You feed into that YouTube algorithm, and like, you know, it's not easy to erase, you know, to swipe away from sometimes. All right, Lizik, go take care of that exam. Thank you for tuning in on your break. Look forward to seeing you next time, or never again. Either way, that's cool. So I've established the purple and the yellow. What's a good color to go with the Lakers colors? Purple and yellow. Let's see, purple, yellow. All right, you got some Latin and philosophy. Yo, those are some great subjects to go together. Latin and philosophy. Alexa, what are the Lakers colors?
The Los Angeles Lakers are purple, gold, black.
All right, so maybe I'll just have to go with purple, gold, black. Purple, gold. Yeah, let me just go with the black. I don't usually do a black background, but maybe this one will actually look kind of cool just because, you know, it's a recognizable color or a recognizable color combination. You know, whenever you have like a sports team color, it's so easy to create something recognizable. Shazbear. I already started with black. So Shazbear, how do you feel about those exams tomorrow? Are you feeling ready? Oh, shoot. Yeah, you're going to crush them. Who are some philosophers that you think are going to be on that test? And what are they, you know, what do they tell you about the world? What news, what can you learn from those philosophers? Sibin, welcome. Sibin Matthew. What's going on? I'm drawing a hand. Can you believe that? A hand? So we've gone ahead and outlined, darkened the space around the hand with black. So we've really helped the hand to stand out now amidst the black background. And we're going to go into this and continue building up the structure of the hand. So this is a different version of the hand. I tried it with a different color. It's a little bit smaller. And then now we're going with the purple, gold, black. Lakers colors, if any Lakers fans out there. And what brings you in, Sabine? You saw somebody drawing and you're like, do you want to draw? Is that something you do? So Shazbear goes, Aristotle promoted the use of reason as a means of living. C.S. Lewis argued for an objective view of life. Bentham made utilitarianism. Friedrich Nietzsche had some pretty crazy views. Aristotle promoted the use of reason as a means of living. Okay. I don't really quite, I mean, you know, it's great that you can summarize their philosophies all within, you know, just less than 5 words. That's quite a talent there. But philosophically speaking, I wonder if it can truly capture, if it truly captures what they were trying to express to the world. So hands are really hard to draw. Yeah, hands are really hard to draw. But I think if you do enough practice, if you look at enough hands, if you you know, I can't draw hands without like looking at them. I can't just draw them from my imagination. But I would say that, you know, I've started to learn how to make them. So what do you think you struggle with as far as hands go? Like, is it when you say the joints, you mean like the knuckles, or like what? When you see a hand, what is the challenge that you find yourself constantly facing that just almost never looks right? Or are you just being hard on yourself? And because your biggest problem with hands is you make the wrists too big almost all the time. That's an interesting problem. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's basically what I did with this other hand. I feel like that's what I did with this hand, was the wrist looks a little bit too round. Actually, this looks like a Dr. Seuss hand. But yeah, I definitely feel like the wrist was a little bit too round. But I guess it's easy to, like, you know, draw a hand and then be like, oh, the wrist is like out here, right? Is that what you mean? Like, you kind of draw the hand and then the wrist is just like that big, as opposed to just drawing it in and, you know, creating this really deep curve, like drawing it inwards. Yeah, so right now, for anybody wondering, my struggle is figuring out what to color the inside of this hand. Because I've got this mid purple. And I like where this is with the I like where this is with the purple and gold. And I'm just wondering, like, what I should do. Whether I should... I don't want to go yellow. I'm thinking like a blue, maybe? Blue on the inside. Purple. How do we want to do the inside? Decisions. I guess I could just go with a fleshy color. I try not to use like the yeah, you think blue and purple? Yeah. You know, blue and purple probably could be nice. I try not to use these fleshy colors way too much because I don't like to get too addicted to, you know, using the obvious color, which would be, you know, when you're painting flesh, especially when I'm using oil pastels, because, like, you know, it's so easy to just pick up a flesh color and just be like, oh, let me just use this, and that's it. I like to try to really experiment and push my color choices, whereas it's harder to do when you're painting, because obviously, first of all, you have to mix the color, and then second, first of all, you have to mix the colors. Second, you have to, like, if you want to use a different color, you have to really think. Like, you have to really make the choice to use a different color. Whereas here, there's already a color, like, ready. Like, you know, the stick of blue. I don't really have too many options, right? It's either like this light blue or a dark blue. Whereas, you know, when you're painting, you know, you can really dive in and, like, overthink the color choices and be like, oh, well, you know, I really got to mix this other color. So let's play with the blue. Cuddly and cute. We're going to play with this blue. The only problem with this blue I'm seeing right now is it's a very... The shades match a little too much, but I think the colors are different enough that it won't matter. But the shade of blue matches a little too much, in the sense that it's as dark as the blue. So I don't think it's going to allow the shadows to really shine through, but we'll see here. We will see. Let's see how this goes. Just going to push it through. It kind of looks like cotton candy. Oil pastels go so quickly. Really getting my hands into this. By the way, if anybody wants to subscribe now, you can also subscribe. And you get a nice little badge that says Huzzah, H-U-Z-A. That's the official badge for this. So if you feel like you want to continue supporting the arts and stuff, supporting your favorite artist, you can. There is a support option to subscribe. And as an early subscriber. I don't know exactly what we'll do here in the future, but there may be some special giveaways and things, or live live opportunities. So here we go. Let's do, I say that so much. Here we go. Here we go. I'm always going. That's why. Let me see. Or you can share. Or do all sorts of things to help support your favorite artists. Let's see. What was I just looking at? I was about to do something. Oh yeah, here we go. There we go. That's cool. You'd be the first one. If that's not enough motivation for you, you get to be the first one. I just set this up like yesterday, so there may be some special benefits, but you never know. So here we go. We're going with our blue here, and I'm gonna go a little bit again with our, continue on with the blue in this space that's around the knuckle. Around the knuckle we go. And let's go into, we're basically just filling all of our white space that I left after planning the purple to go with our blue. So I'm filling the majority of the white space with our blue. Any leftover white space, and then once I'm done with this, once I get the major areas filled with this this blue, we're gonna go in and we're gonna tighten everything up and really start to add either darker shadows or lighter spaces and make it all nice and cohesive and wonderful. And that's gonna be the goal there. And here we go. So knock out the hand. We're going to be pushing this up to the top here. And let's go. There is something I could do about the nails right now. So purple, yellow, purple, blue, yellow. We need red nails. I mean, I feel like red is just such a classic nail color that we just have to go with red on this. So we're gonna go with a deep red on these nails. Don't forget to drink water if I haven't yet. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I'm actually going to take a break here in a few moments. We're going to take a break. Maybe for the evening, but definitely at least for a moment. Yes, very important to drink water though. Thank you for the reminder. people pay money to get water reminders. I've seen these like new water bottles that have like these markers that basically remind you to drink water. People definitely need to be reminded nowadays. And I've even seen like these apps that some people use that it attaches to like your phone, and it gives you like a warning that you haven't drank water recently. So it tells you like, hey, you should drink some water. And here we go. And then we're going to go like this. And now that we have that, we can actually go in with our other colors and color around into our features here. Alright, so we're going to leave this for now. But I do want to come back to this and do some more blending. Like, there's definitely some parts of this that kind of disappear, but I actually do like this other hand better than the other one. You know, it actually looks like this cool, like, neon pink purple hand that's kind of interesting. And all I need to do now is it's a matter of just blending, doing some blending on it, blend some areas. But it's been a minute. I'm going to take a break here. Take a break. Probably go eat some watermelon. Just as I was reminded about water. But hey, cuddly and cute. Thanks for tuning in, and everybody on YouTube and Twitch. Thanks so much. We're going to call this a wrap for now. We'll be back another time. But hey, have a wonderful evening. And here we go. Take care, everybody.